Hey everyone, it's Ohio Skater. Gonna make a quick video. I've been making a lot of martial arts videos. Getting into martial arts. Yeah, it's fun. It's good exercise, and I'm learning how to defend myself. I'm not an expert at it yet at all. Not even close. Just started. I've been doing it on and off for a little bit now, but you know, I'm gonna make a interesting video for you today related to my martial arts videos. Um, So we got Bruce Lee's Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do. I talked about this a little bit in a vlog I made about it was called MMA and Bruce Lee. Um, so you can check that vlog out. I basically talked about how MMA, mixed martial arts, Bruce Lee, Jeet Kune Do. Jeet Kune Do was like the original mixed martial arts if you think about it, because Bruce Lee didn't advocate sticking to one style, in one style only. He advocated using whatever works, you know. But so I'm gonna go through some parts of this book. Some interesting parts. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. Just what I highlighted from specific parts. See, we got commentaries on the martial way, foundation, stance, footwork. Yeah. So basically, he says here that you should train for any move, or always be ready for any move. Always be ready for any move. I guess any move they could throw at you, or any move you could throw in the middle of a fight. So basically, and he talks about timing. Keep your eyes open, and you will be able to time your attacks and blocks well. It's all about timing, really, and controlling a balance of speed. Control balance of speed. Changing of both firing posture and delivery with speed and power. So posture and delivery, speed and power, balance. A balance of changing of both firing posture and delivery with speed and power. So there's a lot to unpack there. Basically, both your firing posture and your delivery, speed and power for both of those, and it's got to be balanced. A controlled balance of speed, you know. So yeah, and talking tactics. So he says basically pretend inferiority, pretend inferiority, pretend that you're inferior, and encourage their arrogance. So this is a technique of deception. So basically, arrogance corrupts. He says here. If you pretend you're inferior, you will encourage their arrogance, and their arrogance will corrupt them. Basically, you know, they get all cocky, they think they can easily beat your ass, and you come at them with something unexpected, and you win the fight, and it was because they were arrogant. It's because they were full of themselves. You know what I'm saying? So and basically, all martial art is simply an honest expression of one's body with a lot of deception in between. So there's a lot of deception. You're supposed to. Bruce Lee's big on deception, deceiving your opponent, and but it's an honest expression of one's body. But you know, you want to make them have to like read between the lines. You know, it is honest, but at the core, but on the outer edges, you are sort of you're you're not letting them see the truth until the end of the fight. Basically, is what I get at. Um, so you should be without ascertainable shape. Emptiness can never be confined. So without ascertainable shape, this relates to all like the footwork they have you do in Jeet Kune Do, and the hand deception. You know, like I don't know, like I'm trying not to close the book, but like you do the circle hand, you know, back and forth circle hand, you know, like stuff like that, you know. That is what he means there by not having ascertainable shape and constantly moving, you know. So use karate, judo, aikido, or any style to build your counter-offensive. It will be interesting. So this is what he means. Any style, any style. Just use any style. You know, whatever works. Let's see. Economy of motion. Um, eliminates all unnecessary motions and muscle contractions. Uh, these slow and fatigue you. You know, it's extra movement. You know, you shouldn't you shouldn't be doing anything extra that's unneeded. You just want to win the fight. You know. And they don't accomplish any useful purpose. They just tire you, and they don't do anything, and it's just extra. Um, you know, make every move have purpose. You know, purpose with every move. So distinguish between relaxed and tense states, and control your body's response voluntarily and at will. Only use the muscles required to perform the act as economically as possible. And don't use any muscles which don't contribute to the act or which interfere with it. Economy of motion, making everything purposeful. You're only trying to win this fight, and anything else is just extra, as they say. Extra. You know, you don't want to be too extra. So, some people are tall, some are short, some are stout, some are slim. There are various kinds of people. If all of them learn the same boxing, i.e. martial art, form, then who does it fit? So we all have different body types, you know. So practice what is good for your body. Listen to your body, and he talks about here listening to your body with the relaxed states, the relaxed intense states. So I guess read the relaxed intense states, where you're relaxed, where you're tense, and and consider the shape of your body and go from there. The highest state is no form. He says, I think the highest state of martial art in application must have no absolute form. Martial art should not be limited in a circle. Yeah, so this is why I was saying it's like low-key the original MMA. It's like no style, or all styles but no style. It's kind of weird, like yin yang type shit. All styles but no style. Any style but no style. Any style but no style. It's hard to wrap your head around. But whatever works is the best way to sum it up. Whatever works. And here he is on what is the best martial art. This is Bruce Lee. I personally do not believe in the word style. Unless we have another group of beings on Earth that are structurally different from us, there can be no different style of fighting. So fighting is fighting. You know, it's all fighting. You can't, karate, kung fu, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, boxing, wrestling, it's all fighting. It can all be described as fighting. So keep that in mind. Fight for righteousness. And when you decide to fight, be sincere and fight wholeheartedly to the end. Only in this way can you develop good character and total truth and sincerity. So, fight for the right reasons. Don't be a bully. Beat up the bullies if you can. If they're really bad, Um, but when you start a fight, fight to the end. And this and and this you'll develop good character. And it mentions total truth and sincerity. And we talked about how you know martial arts is a true expression of the body. And when fighting fighting to the end is how you find your. I feel like he's saying like those two connected. It's like how you find your true style. The not style, but the way you fight. How you find your true expression is by fighting to the end. Because you get used to all stages of the fight, and you can be yourself in any of those situations instead of just chickening out. It's like if you stop in the middle of the fight, that's like, I don't know, stopping in the middle of the workday. You know what I'm saying? And just going home. Stopping in the middle of the workday randomly and just saying, "Hey, boss, I'm going home," and you would get fired. You know what I'm saying? And working gives you money, and money, but you can spend money on things to express yourself. Clothes, these cameras that I got. I'm expressing myself through this YouTube video. So there's a good analogy. But fighting to the end of the fight is how you will be able to express yourself in all types of fights, in all stages of a fight, in all situations. Um, so vision awareness factors that all martial artists should consider: awareness in attack, awareness in counter, and awareness in combination. If one prepares to the front, his rear will be weak. If he prepares to the left, his right will be vulnerable. And when he prepares everywhere, he will be weak everywhere. So, yeah, quick temper will make a fool of you soon enough. The true power of our skill is as self-knowledge, the liberation of the self, not as a weapon. So, basically, so I feel like he's saying here, quick temper will make he is saying quick temper will make you will make a fool of you soon enough. And I think he's saying that right after this, the part about preparing, because when you have a quick temper, you're so itching for a fight, you'll frantically prepare everything in order to practice this, in order to go do this fight. But remember, it's all fighting. It's all fighting. It's not anyone style. You prepare too much in one style, and someone's going to use another style, and that style could be aware of the other style's vulnerabilities, and basically, yeah. But the true power of our skill is as self-knowledge, the liberation of the self, not as a weapon. So we talked about self-expression, total truth, self-knowledge. So self-expression, total truth. Fighting is self-expression. Finishing a fight to the end will give you total knowledge. Will give you total. Fighting is self-expression. Finishing a fight, fighting to the end, will give you total truth. Self-expression plus total truth, self-knowledge. So you kind of got to persevere to know yourself and to know the way you fight. But it's liberating, and it's not a weapon. It's self-expression is what it was, what he called it. External pride is not the thing. It's internal self-sufficiency. So I like how he says external pride is not the thing. It's internal self-sufficiency. And he doesn't say like internal pride is the thing. He says internal self-sufficiency. So can you take care of yourself? Internal being, you don't have to ask for help from other people. Can you take care of yourself? And can you keep it to yourself? Can you take care of yourself without see, external self-sufficiency would be, other people taking care of you. Internal pride would be that would relate to sort of the quick temper type of thing. that would give you a quick temper, I believe. Let's see. Your instinctive skills should be well tempered with self inquiries and judgments. So yeah, your instinctive skill, your instincts need to be well tempered with self inquiries and judgments. So this goes to meditation. Inquire into your own mind. Ask your own mind questions and make judgments. And this will build instincts because when you make a decision on a psychological occurrence in your brain, you know you're priming yourself for that path. You're you're basically choosing that path. But this will go to how you fight, and it'll be your strength if it's what you truly chose. If it's what if it's truly self knowledge, and if it makes you self sufficient, if it makes you more internally self sufficient, basically. Psyching out dialogue based on Sun Tzu's Art of War. Art of War, classic. Um, your brain is the general of your head, and if the general is angered, his authority can easily be upset. Huh. So your brain, we were just talking about your brain. You know what I'm saying? Your head. That's it. It commands the rest of your body. Um, and if it's angered, you're gonna be confused, and you're gonna be easy to beat. You gotta got to so here he says, on my fighting ability, I have no fear of an opponent in front of me. I'm very self-sufficient and they do not bother me. And should I fight, should I do anything, I have made up my mind that, baby, you had better kill me before I get you. Damn. Bruce Lee is dope. So, no fear. So fear basically, I think fear leads to anger. Fear and anger are connected. I believe fear and anger are connected. So an opponent's in front of you, no fear, no anger, because you're self-sufficient, because you have liberated yourself, because you have self-knowledge. Um, yeah, very interesting stuff. Um, you must be fierce, but have patience. At the same time, most important of all, you must have complete determination. On Wu Sin, no mind, in martial art. What man has to get over is consciousness, the consciousness of himself. So this um, Jeet Kune Do philosophy is filled with a lot of stuff about no mind, no consciousness, um, being in the situation, not thinking of the past, being present, being completely present, and always learning. Uh, Consciousness is basically your experience, and all your experience you have is based on your past. You know, so uh, so on being whole. So here's more of that deep philosophy shit. When a man is thinking, he stands off from what he is trying to understand. Feeling exists here and now when not interrupted and dissected by ideas or concepts. The moment we stop analyzing and let go, we can start really as feeling as one whole. So there's a feeling. Be in touch with your feelings. Be in touch with your emotions. Don't be so caught up in thinking, but feel. Sometimes, feel a lot, feel a lot of things. Try to feel, get in touch with your emotions, and this will make you whole. And basically, I have trouble with this. I don't know if you know Myers-Briggs personality types, but I'm a thinker, and I have trouble feeling emotions. But I notice you got to practice your emotional intelligence. You got to practice your emotional intelligence, basically. And you may be a thinker, but if you focus on what you are actually feeling, you'll be surprised. You'll be able to build your emotional intelligence. And it says here, do not, as when in the midst of enjoying yourself, step out for a moment and examine yourself to see if you are getting the utmost out of the occasion. Just enjoy yourself, you know? when you're enjoying yourself, you don't have to step back and sidebar and be like, oh, am I having a good time? Why am I having a good time? Is this actually cool? Just enjoy yourself. And that will teach you to be present in the moment. We'll get to that later. We'll get more of that later, and feel your emotions. Basically, it is when you act with unconscious awareness, you just act. Unconscious awareness. Unconscious awareness is what he's getting at here. And then he gives an example. When you throw a punch at me, I intercept and hit you back, but without thought. It just happens. So that's commentaries on the martial way. In the fundamentals section. Now I'm gonna so next we're gonna go to stance and footwork. And I'm just going to cover stance and footwork, and then I'm going to cover the lessons from boxing and fencing. Okay, it's got a lot of punching and kicking exercises in here. It's got a whole lesson plan. It's got, let me see. And I think, yeah, we're going to touch on the ultimate source of Jeet Kune Do as well, I believe. Let me see if I highlighted stuff from that. Yep. All right. Yeah. We're not going to get into the specific lesson plan. You can look that up. I'm not going to focus too much on punching and kicking. Those are things you can learn with YouTube videos. But the stance and the footwork is important stuff for Jeet Kune Do, and I think that's key of what makes it unique. So we're going to cover that. Plus, I don't want to give away the whole book. I want you to buy it yourself, But yeah, so stance. The components of a proper stance. Simplification. Medium crouch, knees bent, slightly less than previously. Knees bent. Medium crouch, knees bent, to facilitate lightness of foot and great mobility. Bear weight on balls of feet, lightly poised. Balance in mobility. Balance, balance, balance. Balance in mobility. Like we talk about speed, balance and speed. The arms and the kicking leg are important only because they are the vehicles of body force. So your force is in your body, and your arms and kicking legs are take that force from your body, focus it onto a target. But think about it. Most of your weight, most of what your body is the center, your chest and your stomach and your abs and your back and stuff like that. So they only give expression to body force when the body is in proper alignment. That's why stance is so important. Proper alignment. Develop a sense of feel for the position of the arms and legs as to attacking in combination, retreating, countering. Move constantly in small shifting steps. So if you notice in my martial arts videos, I go back and forth, back and forth. That's what I learned from Jeet Kune Do. And it's supposed to deceive, and it's supposed to, we're going to distance here soon, but all punches and kicks are thrown from the on-guard position and return again to the on-guard position with all possible rapidity. Necessary for speed. Necessary for proper deception. So, I throw a punch. Punch. Comes back here. Right back. Real fast. Proper posture is a matter of effective internal organization of the body, which can be achieved only by long and well-disciplined practice. Internal organization, internal self-sufficiency. He talked about internal self-sufficiency. This is internal organization. So when well-disciplined practice will give you internal organization, which I believe will give you internal self-sufficiency. Basically, our everything in your body, is it healthy? Is it the way it's supposed to be? This is internal organization, and that makes you live longer. If it is, which is internal self-sufficiency. So, not too wide, not too close together. These are additional notes on the on guard position. Not too wide, not too close together. The best moment to attack from immobility is when your opponent advances toward you. Your movement should be smooth, like waltzing. You are set but flexible. You are ready but not tense. You are totally aware but not dreaming or thinking. Smooth and flexible. So this is why you gotta practice moves. I notice when I practice different moves, it's like I get more smooth as it goes because it's like I'm getting used to it, and it's like cracking my body out of a shell or something like that. It's like coming out of your shell in fighting is when you're not robotic and when you're doing moves smoothly. And you have to be flexible to do that. Don't be robotic. Don't be robotic. I'm pretty sure he says that in here. So the ready stance in Jeet Kune Do is unorthodox to the traditional classical stance of martial arts. It is a simple, compact, and highly mobile stance, always poised for immediate action. Many traditional classical stances assumed by the martial arts are quite a sight. They range from exotic ballet-like stances to postures of squatting down in wide stances and grimacing as though laying an egg. So a lot of old school karate, the ancient shit, you know what I'm saying, the sacred classical stuff, a lot of that stuff they do is for show. It's almost like showing people like, oh, I can do this amazing exercise right here, and now I'm gonna fight you. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, that just tires you out. And it's unnecessary. So just do what's necessary, whatever works, but whatever's necessary. Footwork. Gaining and breaking ground. Footwork to remain in distance should be regulated to that of the opponent, but must never be permitted to develop into a large and ungainly stride. Don't stride. You should be making small movements, basically. Constantly on the move. Constantly on the move. If you're making big strides, you're going to tire yourself out, and it's not going to be as constant. It's not going to be as smooth, Constantly on the move to make your opponent misjudge distance. So you're trying to deceive. This deception. You're trying to deceive your opponent with the distance of where you're standing. They'll be confused. And it'll be hard for them to attack you. Constantly gaining and breaking in your effort to obtain the distance which suits you best. Whatever suits you best. The distance that suits you best. We all have different bodies. I'm short. I may need to be a little closer to punch someone or kick someone, but I can jump back and then I can spring for it and attack, then I can jump back, So distance is a continually shifting relationship depending on the speed, agility, and control of both persons. There's two people in a fight. You're not the only one fighting, and both persons together decide the tone and the flow of the fight, basically. So be in tune with the environment, basically. Be constantly on the move to make the opponent misjudge your distance, while being quite sure of your own distance. In doing this, you will obtain the distance that suits you best. And when the opportunity arises, close the distance, close in, yeah. Vary the length and or speed of your own steps. So vary the length and speed of the steps. Mix it up. Goes back to deception. Attack on the opponent's advance or change of distance. So when your opponent changes distance, or advance, sure, but we're talking about distance. Really, when he changes distances, that's a perfect time to attack. The length of the step forward or backward should be approximately regulated to that of the opponent. Smooth, rapid, springy, and balanced and controlled. So spring into action. That's what the jumping is also for. It's deception and spring into attack. Yeah, like a coiled spring, one can release great power by pushing off the ground. Until balance is gained, a man is ineffective in both attacks and defense. So you got to work on your balance. Life is constant movement. So let us move and open that flow of existence. Constant movement. Keep relating. To move is to relate. Footwork can be any attack, and properly maintained distance will baffle any skilled opponent. Mobility and speed of footwork precedes speed of kicks and punches. Footwork must never be permitted to develop into a large and ungainly stride. We talked about that. Because footwork should always be under control, smooth but rapid, allowing the fighter to maintain his balance evenly and easily. So make you're springing back and forth. Imagine, you got like a rubber ball, and there's two rubber, barriers. And the ball is bouncing between two rubber. You want your back and forth to be springing off each other. You know what I'm saying? But change your distance here and there. Change the distance of your movements here and there for deception. But all in all, steps should be kept small and fast. So now we're going to talk about boxing and fencing. Bruce Lee basically took lessons from boxing and fencing and added them to Jeet Kune Do. So right here, the following annotations were made by Bruce Lee in the margins of a book he owned on Western boxing and fencing. Books he owned on Western boxing and fencing. So annotations on boxing. The advantage of straight hitting. Faster. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. More accurate. Less chance of missing. Greater frequency of hits. More damage can be done. Balance is less disturbed. Safer, surer, and easier. Less injurious to one's hands. The art of moving. The essence of fighting is the art of moving at the right time. The right time. Be aware. Be without your conscious, and be aware. I know it sounds weird. To be conscious sounds like it's to be aware, but if you forget your conscious and you just exist in your emptiness and your nothing, then all you're thinking of is your environment. All that's in your mind is your environment. Your mind isn't anywhere else daydreaming or anything. All that's on your mind is what's around you, the places around you, the people around you. Someone possibly trying to fight you. So yeah, to maintain balance while constantly shifting the body weight is an art few ever acquire. To move just enough will make an opponent miss, will deliver a counter blow most effectively. The advance. The first requirement in advance is psychological moment. Hand moves before foot. Your body must not be overreached. So psychological. You got to keep track of your opponent's psychology, and that will tell you the right moment. And move your hand before your foot, and don't overreach. This is why distance is so important, and this is why the springing forward and and the finding the psychological moment will tell you when to spring forward, advance, and attack, or when your opponent is advancing, that's the best time to attack. So psychologically, you can tell in that the arrogance, bring out the arrogance, and then when they try to attack you, that's the perfect. When you see they're arrogant and they're frustrated and they're angry and they're fearful. That's why they're angry. They attack aggressively. But that's the perfect time for you to counter. So, body weight should be 40% front and 60% back. Balls of your feet. Advancing and retreating to break opponent's rhythm and bridge the gap. Always combine footwork with techniques being practiced. Footwork and more footwork. Speed and more speed. Okay, so basically minimize the amount of time spent on loss of balance. Practice your balance. Practice your footwork to practice your balance and in your stance. And if you practice more, you'll minimize the amount of time that you ever feel off balance. And it's not good to feel off balance in a fight. Now, when you strike, don't just punch and keep it there. You want it to spring. You want it to bounce off your opponent. Bounce off your opponent. And remember, you're doing the footwork, so you're gonna jump forward, punch, and the punch is gonna punch, and the punch is gonna bounce, and use your footwork to bounce with it. You know what I'm saying? So so now we're getting into the conclusion here. The ultimate source of Jeet Kune Do, and this section is really titled Beyond System. Beyond System. So Bruce Lee says here, I don't believe in system, nor in method. And without system, without method, what's to teach? Emotional expression, emotional content in your technique is what he's trying to teach you here. Basic knowledge of the past. I touched on this earlier. Knowledge of the past. Learning is in the present. A constant movement in relationship with the outward things, your environment. Without the past. So leave the past behind. The past has already happened, and just be a flowing entity, able to flow with external circumstances. To be open-minded. It's total and it excludes nothing. Awareness. You want to get away from classical concentration, where you're excluding and you're so focused on one single thing, and you exclude everything else. But total awareness, just feeling and being in the moment and aware of your environment, is total, and it excludes nothing. So create an atmosphere of freedom. So basically, freedom allows you to learn for yourself. I was just telling my parents the other day, no one likes to be told to do something. People need to find out for themselves. People need to have their own experiences. And freedom allows for you to build true understanding. You're not just being told what to think. You're making up your own mind. The process of making up your own mind is what he's trying to get you to be comfortable with. And freedom lies in understanding yourself from moment to moment, every single instant moment. Constantly learning, constantly total awareness. An intelligent mind is one that is constantly learning, never concluding. Styles and patterns have come to conclusion. Therefore, they ceased to be intelligent. Truth comes when your mind and heart are purged of all sense of striving and you are no longer trying to become somebody. It is there when The mind is quiet, listening timelessly to everything. Self-aware of how you sort of make sense of things instead of just being told and you don't have any reason behind it, and that's when you're a robot. That's when you're just following orders, basically. But self-aware, understanding for yourself, freedom. Give yourself freedom, and you can think of, and you can not just come to the truth, but you can come to the way, your style, your way of coming to the truth, and that's how you know yourself. Instead of just being told this is the truth, and then you're a repetitious robot. Being oneself leads to real relationships. Accept the other person's feeling and allow differences. A good martial artist, not a master. You'll never be a master. The best you can strive for is to be a good martial artist. And that's frankly the truth of the matter. And the function of Jeet Kune Do is to liberate, not to bind. So there you go. Self-expression is important. And that's basically all I got for you guys. It's a pretty good book. God, this scared me. Bruce Lee, Jeet Kune Do. There you go. I practice Shaolin Kung Fu, Karate, Aikido, boxing, Western style boxing, yeah, so all sorts of stuff. Just practice all sorts of stuff. I'm gonna make some videos where I practice some wrestling and some jiu-jitsu here soon. Gotta work on my ground fighting. But whatever works, and no style, beyond system, beyond method. That's what Bruce Lee taught. So, good stuff. Anyway, I've yapped enough. So I'll just say goodbye. Peace.